Wednesday.
Have you ever had a complete nightmare with your online shopping order? Come on, fess up. 80295. I know I have. You just don't concentrate and suddenly you've got 20 bananas in the house. Good morning to you. It is Wednesday the 20th of March and this is Kay Adams with you till 12 on BBC Radio Scotland. Scotland will not meet its own interim climate change targets according to a damning report from the Climate Change Committee.
The Scottish Government just hasn't done the job of putting the policies in place, and this is the first time anywhere in the UK that we've said there's a target that can't be met.
That's Chris Stark, Chief Executive of the Climate Change Committee, with a stark message there. How concerned are you at this news? What more do you want the Scottish Government to do? 08085 92 95 00. Also coming up,
the glow, the mascara, the lip, it's all perfect.
Oh, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? From the beauty bar to the boardroom, we'll speak to Scotland's cosmetics queen, Jamie Genevieve. And there's a line there about from beauty to the beast, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to tell you that the Court of Karen returns with another humdrum conundrum.
Is it okay to take photos at a funeral?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, is it ghoulish or maybe just, a nice record for the family archives? You can text your thoughts on that to 80295.
No, wait.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Help, I need somebody. Help, not just anybody. Help.
Always we're looking for your thoughts. 80295. Help with any consumer issues, then consumer rights expert Martin James is here to help. He's also going to be talking about energy bills. We're always talking about energy bills, there you go. But he's here to answer your questions primarily. Call 08085 92 95 00. Line.
Well, what do we have here?
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
All right, Jamie Genevieve coming up after this. I better brush my hair and get my lipstick on. Not that that's going to help.
Come on, baby. Yo, this sound alright though. Yo, me and Cool V, this gonna be our new single. And when you hear the story, you say it's alright though. Yo, Cool V, why'd you give me a cue? One more cue and then I'm ready to go in.
Don't you like when the winter's gone and all of a sudden it start getting warm? The trees and the grass start looking fresh and the sun in the sky be looking at best. Birds be singing, flowers be blooming, a lot of brand new cars be zooming. Fly girls looking the best they could be, and the guys be dookie down, you see. Besides all that, I like the warm weather, cause that's when you can get yourself together. But I like Easter time with a grin, cause when I little used to go to Coney Island, we used to eat a lot of stuff like cotton candy. Just back then, it was like fine and dandy. You used to get dressed up in double knits and your plaid suit jackets there with the shits. The good old days was back then, and the reason I reminisce cause
it's spring again. Everybody know it's spring again. To the girls and boys and people above, this is the time to fall in love.
Now girls, have you ever broke up with your boyfriend and you felt that the world was coming to an end? Sitting around the house packed for no reason, just because you thought your man was skeezing for a couple of days, look gloomy and gray, thinking about the old happy days. All of a sudden the telephone ring, he begged for your forgiveness, and you know what that brings? Joy and happiness into your life, before you felt like your heart was stabbed by a knife. I'm telling you girls, keep the man that you got, cause if you cheat you might need a VD shot. You know two wrongs don't make a right, and if you did something wrong, don't do the same, it's not polite. Please don't make this breaking up a trend, because
it's spring again. Oh, everybody know it's spring again. To the girls and boys and people above, this is the time to fall in love.
Now fellas, have you ever met a girl that tried to front and wanted you to act like you was on a hunt? I used to see my homeboys frown and fret for a girl that always trying to play hard to get. I know I quoted myself, I must admit, and said anything you want, you gotta work hard for it. Me the diabolical, be obsessed, and go out for something that a girl possess. They're really on yours like a pair of drawers. They want you to be like Santa Claus. They want drug dealers and four-wheelers, truck jewelry, they expect you to steal her. Shit, I know they must be bugging. They better hit the streets and do their own mugging. But in this case, you would just overlook her, send her on the way and say, I can't help you, hooker.
It's spring again. Everybody know it's spring again. To the girls and boys and people above, this is the time to fall in love.
Now, I've never been one to knock the next man for getting.
Eurythmics there with Thorn in My Side. Have I done something funny with my microphone? I have, sorry about that. I'm getting a dirty look from through the glass there. Do you know what? I didn't bother brushing my hair and put my lipstick on because you've got to know when you're beat in life, don't you? You've got to know where you're beat, and I'm certainly beat by our next guest, who has gone from the cosmetic counter at Debenhams to the boss of our own multi-million-pound beauty brand. It has been quite the decade for Clackmannanshire-born Jamie Genevieve, and I'm glad to say that she's here to tell us all about it. Morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just gave up, Jamie. You know, what's the point?
I think you look great.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too nice. Yeah, what a decade, eh?
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts to think about.
Yeah. I mean, where were you in 2014?
2014. I need to think back now.
Trick question.
It is a
10
trick
years
question.
ago.
10 years ago, so I must have just finished college doing makeup artistry.
Right.
I was definitely on a counter. I cannot remember what one. I think I left my last makeup counter maybe, actually it must have been 10 years ago now. So
right.
I spent four years on the counter in Debenhams. And then came into this crazy world of social media, and then launched the brand like 3.5 years ago now.
Well, the crazy world of social media. I mean, you completely exploded on YouTube, didn't you? You became. I mean, I don't know how many followers you've got, but you're counting them in the millions, aren't you?
I think across all platforms, you could say that, yeah.
Yeah. But initially, and I mean, that's such a fast-moving environment too. You were doing what lots of young women, particularly, were doing at that time. You were just showing off your skills, just showing people how to do makeup. Did you have a vision then about where you wanted to be?
Do you know what? No, I just loved it so much. And I just really loved every part of what I've done. So when I worked on a counter, I just loved it. And leaving working on a counter to go freelance, I was terrified. I think the comfort of having, your stable job when you go freelance, the stability's not there. It does make you work much harder. It's quite amazing.
Yes.
But every step of this journey, I've just loved it so much. So when I was freelance as well, I felt so lucky that I was my own boss, and I could work really hard and see the benefits of that. Then again, I was terrified when I left being a freelance makeup artist to then go and do social media full time. I did not think that it would ever be anything that honestly probably anyone could do. I remember seeing some, big YouTubers and people on Instagram that had made it their job. I never thought that would be me, but I think just because I loved what I was doing so much, I found this amazing community online of people that felt the same way. And that community just grew and gave me the chance to be able to do social media as a job. And then because of that, I was able to build the brand as well.
I mean, lots of people do have negative experiences on social media, and you do have to inevitably open your life up a little bit, your relationships, your home, etc. How did you feel about that?
I think I'm such a firm believer. I'm quite stubborn as well. That the experience on social media, you can curate it to be nicer, both as someone that consumes content and someone that creates it as well. And by when I say that, I kind of mean by choosing who you follow, by choosing what kind of content it is that you're wanting to see. So I encourage people, if they ever don't feel great by something they've seen or by a certain, type of person, or even if it just makes them feel uncomfortable, or maybe just like something's really out of reach, then you can unfollow, you can even block it if you just don't want it coming up again. And then on the other hand, I try and be really conscious of what I put out. Try and teach people things where I can. Talk about my other kind of hobbies and stuff. Like, I love reading. I love talking to people about what books we're reading. And I think that when you do social media, you do have to have a bit of a boundary of what you're happy to share and then what you want to just keep for yourself, and that's okay as well.
And was that just an instinct for you then? Because it was kind of uncharted territory back then. I mean, there was no manual on how to handle, an area for a lot of people which can turn into the Wild West. Was it just your instinct that was telling you to handle it that way?
Yeah, I think so, weirdly, and I'm really grateful for that, because I was quite young when I started. But at the same time, I do love being a little bit vulnerable, and I'm a proper open book when it comes to me personally. If anyone needs advice on things that maybe people don't tend to talk about as much, if it's something that I could give advice on, then I would absolutely go ahead with that. But I do think that I'm the type of person that likes sharing and being that open book. But there's definitely parts of my life that I've not talked about, and that I'm so fine not talking about it. And my community are so, they're so, what's the word? They appreciate the things that I share, but they're so respectful. That's
right.
it. They're so respectful to the things that I'm not really sharing that much.
And is Jamie Genevieve, the business boss, a different person from Jamie Genevieve, the social media star?
Do you know what? I suppose that there's different facets of a person, right? And there's definitely different sides to me, but I do think that I am the exact same person.
Yeah.
I do.
So what guides you then? Everyone's got their guiding principles. What guides you through?
I think for me, I think it's the same within the brand and on social media. I really am kind of guided by our customer. I think about our customer a lot, our Vive customer, and if it's right for them. So when I'm making product, when we're talking about the marketing plans, when we're talking about the launch calendar, I do think if it's right for the customer, then they're kind of like our North Star. I also have such a physical gut reaction that I know if something doesn't feel right or doesn't sit right, that there's something probably wrong. I've ignored that gut feeling a few times, and it's always come back to bite me a wee bit.
Yeah. So in terms of the brand, as you say, it's called Vive. When did you launch the brand?
So we launched November 2020, and then for about 2 and a bit years before that, I was working on it.
Right.
So I've been Vive on the brain for 5.5,
yeah.
and actually much longer before that, if you think about when the seedling of a dream started.
So that was always in the back of your mind, wasn't it? Was it? Because there's always a difference between, well, there's not always, but you're a creative as a makeup artist, but obviously you're launching a brand, you become a business person, and sometimes they're two very different animals.
Yeah.
But did you always want to be that business person?
I did, and the last counter I worked on, I was really inspired by, and I would get these products through, and I would appreciate them for what they were, but I would always think about what I would do differently. But I was 18, and I knew I was naive, but I wasn't naive enough to know that I would need money. I would need time, I would need a business plan, these things. So I kept on pushing it down, and I was like, oh, that's just a nice dream to have. And then when I realised that if I actually put my head down, I could do it, that was the 2.5 years before we ended up launching.
And where did you start with that? I mean, the cosmetics business must be one of the most, competitive in the world. There's such huge players in there with vast resources. Where do you start? Is it, let me make a mascara? I don't know.
I think it just all comes from an idea, and also looking at it kind of holistically. It's not just about the product. It's about the brand identity and the marketing and coming at it from all these different angles. Is actually something I really love. So I'm so close with my team. We've got a team of 26 now. and working across all different areas of the business, and I love spending time with all of these different teams, so I can fully understand and learn. I've never learned so much in my entire life. My goodness. But it definitely, it's not just about the product, it's about why and how you've done it and who you're talking to and how you're talking to them. So actually I think the idea of creating a brand was something that I found really exciting, and I'm really glad, because if it was just about the formulas, I don't actually think that would have been enough.
But I suppose to a large extent you're the brand. Because you built up that profile over so many years, and that community that you talk about, who are very loyal to you. So when you bring a product to them, because they're invested in you, they say, yeah, I'm interested in that, and I might buy that. But does that feel like a kind of heavy responsibility?
Do you know what? I think at the start when we first launched, it definitely felt very much just like another channel of me. But as the brand's grown and our customer base has grown, and and our retail doors have grown, it's totally taken on a life of its own. So it's always going to be me when it comes to the ethics and the morals of the brand and the way that we want to make people feel. But the brand itself is like its own little ecosystem now, its own big ecosystem now. So I really love that now, and I almost people find me through the brand now, which that's never happened before.
Right, it's the other way around.
We had a pop-up shop in Glasgow, and I remember serving women that would come in and they would want top-ups of their mascara or their Skin Nova, and they would have their empty one with them, and they had no idea who I was.
Well, were you not tempted to say, do you know who I am?
No, do you know what? There's nothing I like better, nothing I like more than standing near our counter in Space NK or something like that and just watching customers shop.
Yeah.
And some of them will definitely turn around and be like, what on earth are you doing here? And I'm just like sneaking up on them. But some people they don't know me by my face, and that's really exciting.
Yeah. Because you're selling worldwide now, aren't you?
Yeah, online we sell worldwide, but we're definitely UK centric when it comes to retail doors and stuff.
Right. Okay. But and are you in some fancy places? I think you are.
We are. We're in.
Come on, a bit of boasting, girl. I can teach you about that.
We're in Harrods in London. We're in H Beauty as well, and we're in nearly 30 doors in Space NK. And then we're online with Cult Beauty. We launched with Cult just 2 weeks after we launched the brand.
It is fantastic. And what's the big plan then? I mean, do you think, right, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Is Charlotte Tilbury in the bin? Come on.
Do you know? I think my approach would be softer than that, but we've definitely got big ambitions. Me and the team, we get dead excited when we talk about the plan for 2 years, 5 years time. We definitely want to go over to the US and launch there. We're definitely looking for a global brand here. And it's so exciting because we kind of already are. Like, so many of our customers are just from all over the place. I get sent pictures all the time of our tote bags on beaches in Australia and Thailand. And I've bumped into customers at nearly every airport that I go through. So no, we have big ambitions, global ambitions. But one of the most important things is that we take our customers with us, and the team as well, and everyone has just a really good time doing it. That's my goal.
And of course, you're balancing this all with motherhood. Your daughter's just about a year, isn't she? So,
yeah, coming up for a year in May.
It must be quite a crazy house.
It is, but you know what? It's I just don't know what I did with my time before I had my daughter. Honestly,
count the ways.
No, it's changed everything, but in the best way.
Yeah. Well, listen, we wish you all the success in the future, and I'm sure we will hear more and more about you as a global brand. Vive. That's Jamie Genevieve.
Hello to all our listeners across the USA, from New York State to Florida and live across LA. And hi to everybody in Canada as well. We've never ever been there, but we hear it's a nice place. The Chris Moyle Show. We've never been to Canada.
It is 10:24. This is Karen's with you till 12 on BBC Radio Scotland. Still to come, another humdrum conundrum.
Is it okay to take photos at a funeral?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've been thinking about that all morning. Is it ghoulish or is it a mark of respect? Our judgmental friend of the show, Karen McKenzie, will be here to battle it out. But do tell us what you think. 08085 90. Oh, no, don't phone us. No, don't phone us for that one. You can text us, though. That would be lovely. 80295. And...
Wait,
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I need somebody help, not just anybody
That's no problem at all. He's here for our weekly consumer surgery. 08085 92 95 00 is the number. So whatever it is that you want to talk to Martin about, whether it's rip-offs, refunds or knowing you're right, then get in touch.
It's spring again. I can hear the birds sing again. See the flowers start to bud. See young people fall in love. Well, it's spring again. Thunder showers, they are here again. An extra hour for me and you to spend together. Pretty colors are everywhere. Mother Nature, she still cares. Well, it's spring again. The grass is turning green again. The warm air feels so good. Summer's not too far away. Pretty colors, they are everywhere. Mother Nature, she still cares. I said it's spring again. I can hear the birds sing again. See the flowers start to bud. And I see young people fall in love. And I said it's spring again. And the grass is turning green again. The warm air feels so good. Summer's not too far away. And I said it's spring again. Time for us to do all the things again that we love to do in spring again. I said it's spring again. Time to hear the birds sing again. See the flowers bud again. Oh, it's spring again, spring again, spring again, spring again. I said it's spring again. Another hour for us, yeah, to do all the things we love. Walking through the park, holding hands under the moonlight. And I said it's spring again. Yeah, I said it's spring again. Don't it make you feel good when you can take off your winter clothes?
Your mornings just got better. On BBC Radio Scotland.
Oh, aye, she's got something to say. She's always got something to say. Yes, Karen Mackenzie, our judgmental friend. How are you, Karen?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Very good indeed, thank you. You're all wintered up again.
Well, I was back on the bike again.
Spring?
Well, indeed. Was it yesterday? Is it today it starts?
Well, is it today or was it yesterday? Yeah, the first
Sprung
day of
in here
spring.
and
Yep.
did you not even notice?
Well, no, I didn't actually. I thought you had a limp, but there you go, and I didn't want to mention it. But funny enough, as I walked home yesterday, for the first time, oh God, in months, I felt kind of warm sunshine on my back. And I thought, oh.
Yeah, and then later on it started raining.
I know, but just for that
Sorry,
moment,
I know.
Can we just try and be positive?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's such a gorgeous feeling when you get that heat of sunshine on your back. Doesn't matter how, that's why I sit in the greenhouse.
You don't.
I do. I have my coffee in the greenhouse. I pretend it's I was going to say observatory, conservatory even. Oh, aye.
Your observatory, conservatory. So you kind of feel a bit Mediterranean in there, do you?
Oh, yes. Strip off.
That's enough now. I think really we might have.
Anyone.
We should have put out a trigger warning for that. We'll probably get in trouble. I mean, I know that Jojo Sutherland is looking on askance and concerned. Morning, Jojo. How are you?
Morning.
Good morning. I'm very well. How are you, ladies?
We are very good.
Splendid.
Now, just get that vision out your head of Karen half naked in her greenhouse.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm barely awake. And
I know, it's not good though. I know, quite.
I think she was just trying to put you off, Jojo, just put you off your stride.
Oh, you're on it.
Oh, I've got words for Karen.
Oh, something to say. Got something to say.
Yeah, well, I am looking forward to this. But are you well, Jojo?
I'm very well, yes. I'm down in Swindon at the moment on the Pie Tour, and then I'm off to Melbourne on Monday.
Get you.
Wow.
I know.
Are you still living half in a van?
I know, I don't live anywhere, so even the van was too much of a commitment. I just haven't had time to buy one. I've been touring and then in hotels and abroad, so having a great time.
You got a tent?
So, I've got a tent in the back of my car, but I've had no need to use it yet.
Jolly good.
Wow.
Bit of sofa surfing. Yeah. Well, you could maybe get a wee berth in Karen's greenhouse. You never know.
Absolutely. Yes. No, I do knock on people's doors with alarming regularity.
Well, listen, shall we hear today's conundrum? I must admit, I am torn on this one.
Oh.
I'm not torn at all. How can you be torn?
Oh, are you torn, Karen?
Absolutely not.
Oh, right. Oh, well, let's hear it then.
A role model to me passed away earlier this month at 93 years young. My aunt decided she wants photos and videos taken as people arrive during the service and at the reception, so she's nominated my uncle to be the photographer. I view these services as a private time to grieve my loss and think the idea of someone taking photos at a funeral is frankly pretty tacky. My complaint has been met with frustration and confusion by some of my family, but there might be other people there like me who don't want photos but feel too uncomfortable to say anything. Am I being a stick in the mud, or is it okay to take photos at a funeral?
I must admit, I've never heard of this before. I mean, I just kind of presumed that you wouldn't take photos or certainly videos at a funeral. So it's the first time it's ever come up. What do you think, Karen?
First of all, I'd say 93 years young. He's not young. is
Right.
old. At that age,
Okay.
it's a celebration of life, right? So I just think, actually, funnily enough, I was talking to somebody about this the other night, and they said their dad died, I would say probably about 15, 20 years ago, and there were photographs taken at that funeral, which alarmed me, yeah. But I think...
Alarmed you?
Well, actually, I suppose they would have had photographs then. I just think you take photographs at other big events in your life, like christenings and big birthdays and weddings. And this is like the final thing. And I think it's lovely to register something, and you'd have that. You'd have that. You'd have a memory anyway, but you'd have just photographs to look back on. And I think it's a really nice idea. I'm not saying hire a videographer or whatever they're called, or a photographer to go around asking you to pose and all the family over here, all the girls over here. I'm not talking that at all. I'm just talking subtly and one of the family taking photographs. And it's really nice because, and I think, and I will say, at my own dad's funeral, it was so busy and it was in the garden and loads of people there, and I hadn't got a Scooby who had been there after the event, because not everyone comes to the cemetery, even less people come to the drinks afterwards. I did ask my friend Caroline to take photographs, and she went, nah, don't be daft. So I had no idea.
And you'd quite have liked to have had a record of it.
Yes, to say, oh my God, so-and-so was there. Oh, I never got a chance to speak to them. Yeah, so I think from that point of view, it's really nice to take photographs.
She never ceases to surprise. What do you think, Jojo?
Oh, God, I can't think of anything worse. And also the idea, I cry at the opening of an envelope. I genuinely, pictures of people, tears and snorters. And, no one's looking their best at a funeral, especially not the person that's dead. So I just don't think it's a horrible idea. And,
I don't understand why you think it's so horrible.
Because I just think that people are upset and they're grieving, and having a camera in your face.
But they're not. The camera's not in your face. It's subtly and it's from behind, and you're just.
But they still might be aware of it.
What's the point of taking a picture from behind?
Well, I suppose
that's a good point.
I suppose not everyone is kind of. What I'm saying is, you're not asking them to pose. There'll be very natural photographs, and I think if people didn't want their photographs taken, I don't know how this would be, but even if you were to say to the minister, whoever was doing it, listen, there will be somebody taking pictures. So if anyone doesn't want any photographs, if you can just let us know, and we'll,
But then you put the onus on them to do that, aren't you? Yeah. Registering whether they want the photograph taken or not.
I think people will be happy to do that rather than get the photographs taken. But I think it's a lovely idea to have that.
Do you think it depends on the age?
I think there's got a lot to do with that. Can you imagine if it was a sort of tragic accident or something? Then it feels really macabre.
Agreed.
And also the idea that when you think of cameras, you're like, smile. It's like sort of smile at a funeral just seems completely such a juxtaposition.
Yeah, but I think you're still coming back to there's somebody going to come along and ask you to pose. They're not. My point is, you're subtle, you're in the background. All you're looking for is a memory, something that you can look at a later date and say, God, that was such a lovely day. I was at a funeral recently, and the setting, granted, it wasn't an old person, but the setting was beautiful. It actually looked like something out of a Scottish movie. And I just thought, that's such a lovely moment. And it was a celebration of their life as well. Mm. But it was...
Did you take a photograph?
I did, actually.
You did?
I did. And funnily enough, the woman that I was with, I said, do you think it'd be okay to take a photo? And she said, I don't know, but if you do, can I get a copy? So she wanted it sent as well. And I've looked at it several times, and it's a really nice photograph.
And what do you think
nobody
when
else
you look
knew.
at it?
I suppose I just think you're sort of back to being in the moment. You do go through, the day again, and you think, God, that's sad, but I'm glad, and I have no regrets of taking it. I don't think anyone else noticed. I don't know.
You didn't ask permission?
You're not going to go down and ask permission. It was outside. It was... No, you would not do that. No, but I thought, no, I'd like to have this memory.
Well,
I think
maybe it's a relative.
Maybe it is social conditioning. Maybe it is that kind of, you associate a camera with, happy times and catching sort of a nice moment. And I just, funerals and nice moments have never gone hand in hand with me.
Yes, but it's the end of, I suppose this is, in this scenario, it's an elderly person, right?
Yeah.
Surely it's a celebration of their life and it is the final moments, if you like. But, you know, as I say, you've captured every other big event. What is wrong? Why is it taboo in a funeral?
Well, let's put that out to our lovely listeners. Is it something that you should accept and welcome, and perhaps it is just social conditioning that makes us not consider taking photographs subtly at a funeral? Or is there, as Jojo says, something about it that just does not sit right at all? You should see Jojo's face. She's really not happy with the idea. She's really not happy with the idea. A look of distaste on her.
So you wouldn't be happy, Jojo, at your funeral? Not that you'd have much say after the event.
No, oh God, no. Well, especially, I would be there, so I'd be furious.
You would be there.
But yeah, I just think there's something really macabre about it. And just kind of, you know, even when you say a celebration of someone's life, yes, but it's still so sad if somebody that you love has died. Do you know what I mean?
But it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, she's very practical. She's very practical, Jojo. Mawkish, macabre or magnificent? What do you think? Taking photographs or indeed videos, as this person suggested. She's wobbling on that one. 80295 is the text number. Have you ever done it? Have you requested that photographs taken at a funeral, or you've done a wee sneaky one like Karen? Have you looked back at it and thought, you know what, I'm glad that we did that, it was lovely? Or can you just not countenance the prospect of taking photographs at a funeral? Do tell. 80295. Jojo, thank you very much. Lovely to speak to you as ever. Thanks, Karen.
Let me tell you, you my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Put a little gold in the teeth and it fit good, so I took the doors out the Jeep. Okay, I see a brother holding your seat, no beef, but I'm trying to get to know you at least. Don't take my talking to your own. I can keep it chill like the Soviet blunt. I'ma keep it real when your man long gone. If you're looking for a friend and you got the wrong song, baby girl, what's good? What's with ya? If you book tonight, that's fiction. I'm outside, no pictures. You want me? Go figure. To the back, to the front. You a 10, baby girl, but I'm the one. Hey, to the back, to the front. You a 10, baby girl, but I'm the one. You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Hey, girl, you got me. I'm singing. It's like, oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, and then just some white. You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know.
The emotions there were the best of my love. Right, it is 10:42. Time to say hello to our consumer rights expert, Martin James. Morning, Martin.
Good morning, Kay. Lovely to talk to you as always.
And you too. Now, you know what happens now? I always like to ask you what you think of Karen's humdrum conundrum. Photographs at a funeral or not, Martin?
So I'm going to say not, but I do have an alternative solution, as always.
As always.
I think grief is private, and I think it is asking quite a bit of people to actually, to be photographed. It all depends on how intrusive photographers are, as anyone who's ever been to a wedding knows as well. But when my brother died over the pandemic, because of the restrictions with the number of people you could have to funerals, we live streamed it, and actually that's the answer. If you live stream it so people who can't attend can actually watch, and most funeral places will allow you to do this these days, then that solves both of those problems.
That's very thoughtful. Funnily enough, and I'm sorry to hear that, Martin. I did attend a virtual funeral over COVID as well, and I was a little bit nervous about it. I can remember, sitting in my own little room watching on a laptop, but it was actually a really moving experience, and I was very surprised because it was very intimate.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I think that's one of the things that I've learned, from this whole experience is it's a way to allow everyone to participate. Some people get really nervous about attending funerals or big events, or they worry about talking to people afterwards or saying the wrong thing. But it's a great way to bring everybody together so everybody feels that they've participated. Plus, the camera's usually way on high, so it can't hone in on anyone looking sad or just kind of trying to get through the whole thing. So it's definitely an option if you are struggling, and the vast majority of the funeral places I've spoken to offer it for free as well.
Oh, Martin, you are the voice of reason. I was going to say you should do our humdrum conundrum, but actually we don't want you because we don't want the voice of reason on our humdrum conundrum.
I can tell you, honestly, my conundrum today is I've been stuck on a train and I very nearly had to do this from a park bench in London.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh, well, listen, you're on a crystal clear line and I'm glad to hear it. Taking calls from 11 o'clock as usual, hopefully. 08085 92 95 00. You can text 80295. So any question at all that you want to ask Martin about consumer rights, not about taking photographs at funerals, whether you feel you've been ripped off, you're looking for a refund, or there's some other issue that you're concerned about, he is here to help. Energy often comes up, doesn't it, Martin, as a topic where people, have problems. And there's a story in the paper this week which has been about energy suppliers still messing up direct debits. And funnily enough, we were talking about this in the office yesterday, and one of the team was saying that their energy company altered their direct debit without informing them. And, we're a little bit concerned about this because you like to think that you are in control of that.
Well, absolutely. And the simple answer, Kate, is you should be. While direct debits can be changed, the business is obliged to give you advance notification. Now, the problem that we have in this digital age is how on earth are they doing that? And, I'll be the first to confess, I've forgotten my passwords to my energy bill account and had to apply for a new one. So for many people, unless you're looking, you're not going to know about these notifications. Now, you can object to a direct debit being taken if it's an excessive amount, and we've seen quite a few of those reported in the press recently. But that's not the point. There are a number of energy companies who are, frankly, having a laugh in terms of how they're doing this. And I would encourage everybody to make complaints. It doesn't matter whether legally they can do it or not. The point is, morally, they should not be taking massive chunks of money from you without making it absolutely clear that they've told you that's what they're going to do. And also, you don't even know if that's right.
And I mean, you mentioned there, and I've noticed certainly in the news over the last month, there was a couple of stories that came out of phenomenal amounts of money being taken out of people's accounts.
Oh, absolutely, yes. It tends to be celebrities, but obviously this affects everybody. But it's the celebrities that get into the news. I think Grayson Perry had something stupid, like they told him they were going to take £27,000 from him, which is a lot of pots to make, in my opinion.
Indeed.
So a lot of these companies have just been behaving very, very badly. Once again, just because they're permitted to vary a direct debit doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And I would say any kind of increase in price that's over maybe 3 or 5% at the very most is something where you actually do need to speak to the individual to actually make it clear what's happening, and also maybe to have a look and think, is this right? Because those bills that I've seen don't make any sense.
And is direct debit still the best way, though, to pay your energy bills if you can?
Well, I'm really annoyed about this, Kate, because as you and many of the listeners will be aware, if you pay by direct debit, you get a discount. It's not a massive discount, but it's a small discount. So on one hand, if you're worried about this, you can cancel your direct debit and just pay as and when the bill comes through through other means, through a standing order or just by transferring money from your account. But then you lose out on that discount. So I'm going to be chatting to Ofgem and indeed people in the government about how we can get through this, because this situation isn't acceptable.
I love the thought of you having a little chat with Ofgem and the government. I would love to be a little fly on the wall for that little chat. Martin, thank you very much for now. Martin James back at 11 o'clock to take your calls. 08085 92 95 00. But energy or anything else, 80295 is the text number. Thanks, Martin. See you soon.
More general knowledge skills as contestants compete to win loads of cash and a new automobile.
And what was the film?
Ingrid Bergman, Casablanca.
Yes. Robert.
Katharine Hepburn, The African Queen.
Yes. Shelley.
Mary Astor, The Maltese Falcon.
You people know your movies.
Behind there, it says car. It says car the first time out of the barrel.
Don't miss the action on TV's hottest new game show, Split Second, starring Monty Hall.
Split Second, weeknights at 7:30 on TV 11.
Don't miss the action on TV's hottest new game show, Split Second, starring Monty Hall.
What a funny way to say split second.
Split Second, weeknights at 7:30 here on TV 11. Join us.
Now, menopause has been making the news recently.
Hormone replacement therapy is the NHS recommended first line of treatment for menopause.
But are we over-medicalising a natural event? We'll speak to one researcher who thinks that we are. And could running give you the rage? We'll talk about that next.
When you lose the one you love, your heart goes through changes, especially when the sweet memories still hold their thrill. Just when you think the pain is all gone, don't fool yourself, 'cause here's the deal, that's the way love works. You got to hurt before you heal. Oh yes you have. You're gonna cry, oh, you're gonna cry, and when the tears, they may stop falling, they may stop falling all down your face, but they still fall down your heart. Never know how long the wound will take to heal. It might take months, it could take years, but that's the way love works. You got to hurt, oh, before you heal. I say before you heal. Tears, they may stop falling, they down your face, but they still fall down your heart. Oh, you never know how long the wound will take to heal. It might take months, it could take years, but that's the way love works. You got to hurt well before you heal. Oh yes you have. Just when you think the pain is all gone, don't fool yourself, 'cause here's the deal, and that's the way love works. Lord, you got to hurt before you heal. Oh yes you have. That's the way love works. You got to hurt well before you heal. Let me say it one more time. That's the way love works. Lord, you got to hurt before you heal. Oh yes you have. That's the way love works.
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Just turn it up and turn it on.
Well, that was drive-by train, but we're talking running now. What's the saying, that you never regret a workout? Yeah. Well, a US study has shown, or has concluded, that going for a run to let off steam can actually make you feel even angrier, which kind of goes about against the grain a little bit. Joined this morning by sports psychologist Tom Lucas and keen runner, our very own Judith Ralston. Morning, both.
Good morning.
Hello. Morning, morning. So, Tom, are you surprised by this report?
I'm surprised, and I have to say, I think it's just a load of mince. Honestly, God, it beggars belief that you come out and say things like this. First of all activities, to a certain extent, are boring because it is repetitive. Of course it is. You go to yoga classes, it's repetitive. The question is, if you're angry, why are you going to do it anyway? So you need to find out what's making you angry and what can you do to solve it. Now, going out doing a run, in a sense, releases those endorphins. Your focus should be on your running. The anger then dissipates to a certain extent. You come in and you feel better mentally, physically, and you can actually deal with your anger a lot better because you've done that.
Well, I mean,
it's
interesting.
Sorry.
I mean, they analysed data from more than 10,000 people.
That's hardly a lot, is it?
Well, it is actually quite a significant sample, to be honest, in the way that statisticians do these things. And you're right, Tom. It was apparently because it's boring. So I don't know, Judith. Maybe. The thing is, it would make me angry going for a run because I don't like it and I find it boring.
Well,
but if you, like Judith, you love it, don't you?
Well, it's funny because we used to always bump into each other trying to run.
Well, I was hating it and you were loving it. You had this serene look on your face and I was like, I hate this.
But, the older I've got, I don't particularly, the idea of it really sticks in my throat. I don't want to do it, but I do feel a heck of a lot better for doing it. But I've changed my whole running. I used to do it on a treadmill now because I'm that blooming clumsy. I was always falling over and my husband was always having to come and pick me up somewhere. So now I do sprints on the treadmill, and I get a lot more out of that. I feel great at the end of a good sort of 30-minute, 45-minute workout.
Right. You're not sprinting for 45 minutes, are you?
Not for long. Not for too long. Short and sweet. At my age, that's how I like it.
Well, maybe you're mixing it up a little bit. Maybe that's helping rather than just like going out and pounding the streets.
Definitely. And the biggest thing for me, because I've been running for donkey's years, was finally getting my act together and getting a set of headphones.
Right.
You know, because before that, I would be, you know, getting bored with my own thoughts.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the thing, Tom. Maybe it's about how, you know, you can make it less boring for people. No?
Well, I think you see, the issue for me and the worry about this research is that the danger is it starts to put people off, activity. I mean, if you go to yoga, it's boring. Of course it is. All activities are boring because of the repetition, right? So what you have to do, in terms of even running, is the variety. You go a different runs. So you go wood runs, you go streets, what have you, round logs, you name it. It's the fresh air. You're out there and you're burning off those excess energy and also excess anger gets burnt off, and you come in, and I maintain you can deal with problems a lot better by having doing that. And so I think that at the end of the day, you know, we should be encouraging people. I mean, I don't encourage people to go out a run if they don't like it. I don't see the point in that. You know, you find an activity that you actually got to enjoy. That's the first thing. If you don't enjoy running, for God's sake, don't do it.
So do you run then, Tom?
Sorry?
Do you run?
I've been running since Moses left Denison.
And what does it do for you?
Oh, I mean, I'm out this morning and I came in and had, obviously showered, changed, feel great face today. I'm a full-time carer for my good lady, and I need that. What do you call it, a fix? But I need that. I mean, I used to train 3 times a day, doing marathons, what have you, when I was younger, and it helped me, to be perfectly honest, overcome my asthma.
Right. Okay. So
I just think that mentally it's such a powerful drug. Physical activity, I'm not necessarily saying running. Physical activity is a fantastic way of releasing anger. More than anything else.
Though, I mean, as Judith was saying, you know, she discovered headphones, and you know that's something that she really enjoys, which perhaps relieves the boredom a bit more. Do you use headphones or run with people? That's the other thing that people can do.
I've run on my own for a long time. I don't need headphones. I don't need company as such. I'm quite clear about focus where I'm going, what I want to do. I get disappointed when I come in and I haven't maybe run as well as I have done, or gone as far as I would like to have. But that's fine. You know, the point is, I make the point I am out at least 5 days a week.
Right. I suppose it's different strokes for different folks, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, Judith, as you were saying, you've kind of changed your patterns a little bit. Do you ever run with people, Judith, or you prefer to run on your own?
Oh, I prefer doing it on my own. I just like to kind of gather my thoughts. It's I'm kind of solitude runner. And when I do go for an outdoor run, I do really, really enjoy it. I have to say now that I don't do it very often.
And when you're listening to stuff, what are you listening to apart from BBC Radio Scotland, Judith?
Yes, absolutely. I always have you on in the mornings at 9 o'clock when I go for the first run. A podcast, funnily enough, never music, because I'm a musician to trade. Music really distracts me. So I get into what key it's in or what what rhythm. So I find music too distracting. So the spoken word is what I run to, like the radio or a podcast or something like that. So it's funny. The music thing, though, you think that would inspire me.
I know.
But no, it just distracts me. And if I listen to classical music, I've been known to greet my eyes out running down Byres Road.
There's a sight. Well, making you angry is one thing. Making you sadder, we don't want to do that. But then that's the music, not the running. Like I say, different strokes for different folks. Thanks very much, Judith, and also to Tom Lucas. Martin James, our consumer rights expert, is here after the news. Any questions for him? 08085 92 95 00, text 80295. Lots of thoughts on that, macabre or moving. What do you think? You can text us on 80295, always room for more. Hey,
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help.
And our consumer rights expert Martin James is here, ready, willing to help. 08085 92 95.
Well, what do we have here?
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Ms. Mackenzie up after Shania.
Raising sand about plaintive chord. You ain't hitting the B flat right. I'm gonna make a hit if it's the last thing I do. Now I'll come home to you and you'll put your cold feet on me. Get up on your feet, woman. Hanging around the studio for 3 days in a row now. Think ain't nobody get a hit out of here but Sam and Dave. Rufus Thomas, or Carla Thomas, or Eddie Floyd. They the only one know how to play the blues. I can play the blues myself. Yeah. I'm gonna give every disc jockey the blues across the country. If he don't dig this, he got a hole in his soul. If you hear a little fuss, it ain't nobody but us.
I love a bit of Shania. I think Karen loves a bit of Shania as well. All rise.
Yeah. Is that you?
My accent's
Is that your
seriously
South
dodgy,
Carolina?
aren't they? Seriously dodgy. I do apologise, Shania. She's probably not listening. I think it'll be fine. The Court of Karen is back in session as we're going to hear your verdict on today's humdrum conundrum. I tell you what, it's really busy. People have got very strong views on this. You won't know that, of course, because you were unable to print out your own text because technology has defeated you, hasn't it?
I was away having a cup of tea.
Yes.
Completely forgot the time. Got yakking, as it is.
Professionalism, you have none. Absolutely not.
And then I thought, oh, there's Shania on. Oh, it's after 11.
Oh, yes.
I better get
Shall
my
we just kind of chat to fill the
through.
time till somebody comes in that door with a sheet of paper or else? Actually, did you hear about the man in Orkney, the shopkeeper?
Oh, I heard that yesterday, the Easter eggs.
Yeah, he thought he was ordering 80 and he ordered 80 cases of them. He's got 720 Easter eggs.
Oh, does that mean they're all the same type as well? You've not even got a variety.
But you know, the thing is about Easter eggs. Oh, here's the text. There we go. Thank you, David.
Thanks.
They are all the same, aren't they? When you think, of course they are, because you think about the effort that goes into packaging and marketing. It's a lump of chocolate.
I know, but it could be dark, it could be mint, it could be... There's so many different types now.
Away you go.
No, I wouldn't thank you for it. Well, I better not say it, but, there's some I just wouldn't wouldn't thank you for.
No. All
No.
right. Well, don't worry. You're not going to have to thank me for any because you're not getting one. Online shopping. You don't do online food shopping, do you?
Oh my God! No, you have to pay like a tenner or something for it to be delivered.
You don't.
Oh, do you not?
No.
Oh, well, you've got to spend over 70 quid or something like that, which I probably do over the week. But no, I don't. No, I'm frightened.
No.
I know.
These newfangled things. No.
I like to see what I'm buying.
You like to feel them apples, don't you?
Well, I do. I like to weigh them up.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, I love online shopping.
Do you?
I do, yeah. But I have had a few disasters. I have had 7 cauliflowers in my house.
You've not.
I have. I don't know how I do that, actually. I don't know how. Oranges.
Really
oh, my
quite
God.
easily.
I've had so many oranges that I've meant to buy 4, and I bought 4 kilos. I have
Stop
done
it,
that.
you have
I know.
not.
I know.
Seriously?
Yes. But they're very nice. They take them back.
Do they take the so
Yeah,
you
they
have to
do.
traipse down the road to take them back?
Yeah.
Your
No,
packy
they
bags?
take them back because if you're there when they come and
Oh,
they
I
look
see.
at
And
you.
that's the only thing you can see.
Yeah, it's just oranges. And they say, "Did you mean to order 4 kilos?" See, you would.
So
you'd be
you're
making
talking
your
about meat
marmalade.
technology, lady.
I know, it's terrible. I need some company on this. Any online shopping disasters,
Oh, right.
please share.
And has it got to be food
80295.
shopping?
No, why have you had other
Well, I did
disasters?
actually. I bought. I'm always on the lookout for a pair of like jeans, but just to the bottom of my knees. Do you know what I mean?
Shorts
Just,
at your age?
said was to cover the knees. You missed that. They've got to cover
Capri
the knees.
pants. Are we talking capri pants?
That just sounds a bit middle-aged, doesn't it?
You're past that, lady. You should be so
And
lucky.
actually, I did order a pair, and they just arrived this week. But you know what I didn't realise is they're low rise. That's not happening.
No.
So what am I going to do? They're going to go up to the charity shop. They were second-hand in the first place.
Oh, were they?
But I do like a high-rise now.
Yeah. Do you?
No,
Like
but do you
just
know what I
above,
mean?
above the belly button.
Yes.
Right.
I feel comfortable.
Right.
It's that thing. Yeah. Oh God. Then you need a belt to make sure that they don't. And it's when you're bending over in the garden and you think, oh God, I've got to hold the back of my jeans up with my left hand while I'm digging with my right hand. It's just not happening.
Everyone's now got a vision of Karen sitting in her greenhouse, basking in her high risers. Lovely. Shall we get back to the matter at hand?
Yes.
So my grandpa, who was a role model to me, passed away earlier this month at 93 years young. My aunt decided she wants photos and videos taken as people arrive during the service and at the reception. So she's nominated my uncle to be the photographer. I view these services as a private time to grieve my loss and think the idea of someone taking photos at a funeral is frankly pretty tacky. My complaint has been met with frustration and confusion by some of my family, but there might be other people there like me who don't want photos but feel too uncomfortable to say anything. Am I being a stick in the mud, or is it okay to take photos at a funeral?
Boom. I'm just thinking.
Frankly, tacky. That's all I heard.
it's the aunt that wants to take it, which is presumably Grandpa's daughter.
Yes.
So it's the chap who's passed away at the age of 93 years,
so it's
young.
almost like
It's
next to kin.
the daughter.
Kind of. Yeah, yes.
And then this is the granddaughter who's objecting.
Yes.
I
So
think
there is
she's trumped there.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think she's trumped. But as I say, very, very strong views. Have you finally managed to get your piece of paper in your hand?
I have.
Right.
And actually, not everyone's opposed to me.
Right, well, there's a good start.
Yes, it is.